Hello, this is Greg at Reserve My Court, and today we're going to be continuing our series on rule types, and we're going to cover specifically the open-close rule type. And so, as always, we're under club settings, and we're under amenity rules and fees, and I'm going to hit the add rule button. So hopefully you've been following along on some of the other videos we've been doing about the other specific rule types, and this one will look pretty similar. And really, this is the one that I think the run rule that everybody needs on their account and their club setup is the open close rule. So I'm going to go down the rule types here. And I'm going to select open close. And again, I'm going to give this a name. You can give it any name you want. I'll just say something like operating hours. And I'll go to next. And this is just so simple. The easiest rule we have is an open and a close time. We've talked about it on some of the other videos about these defaults of midnight to midnight. You need to make sure you're changing these values. The software doesn't really actually understand a midnight to midnight since those are on two different days. Midnight only occurs once per day. But this shouldn't be an issue. Most of you are opening your clubs and closing them sometimes. So I'm going to go say 7, 8 a.m. So let's go that to like say 11 p.m. That's it. You select the open and close time. Now, you might have a seasonal rule. Maybe you open at different times in the winter than you do in the summer. So if you do have that, you can create this rule and have it start at a certain time on a certain date and end on another date. And then you can create a separate open close time for a different time of year if you want to do that. Perhaps maybe your days that you open and close are different by day of the week. So maybe the weekend days are different. So if that's the case, then just create a rule for your weekdays and then come back and create a different rule for the weekday or the weekend. So however you need to do it, you can have as many of these rules as you want, and the system's going to look at all of them, and it's going to find the most restrictive one for that particular instance in time and enforce that rule. So even if they overlap, it's going to find the one that's the most restrictive. If it violates any one of those rules, then your reservation is going to be rejected. So all right, so I'm just going to create this one to start immediately and never end, and it goes for all 7 days of the week. Which courts? Again, you could apply this to certain courts. Maybe some courts have different times than others. I'm going to do that actually just to show you this. I'm just going to set this rule up on these 4 courts for now and leave court 1 unchanged. And you could set up different open close times for different, for members and apply this rule only to certain types of users, but I wouldn't say that's typical. Generally, this is one rule that I think probably does apply to everybody. Probably everybody's operating on the same open close schedule. But it's possible that it wouldn't be. Maybe the super admin, you want to allow you to make reservations outside of those normal windows of close times. But for now, I'm going to put it in for everybody and submit this. And I'm going to go to the schedule, and you'll see how that close rule will render. Now, because I did not set any rule up for court 1, and I go to the club schedule, what you're going to see is this. The software still has to render all the way midnight, all the way down to midnight, because I never said anything about court 1 being closed. So as far as it knows, it's open 24 hours a day, and so it has to show that. Since it does have to show it, it actually has to physically block off the other courts. And you can see that here, and then my rule name, operating hours, shows up there. You could have made the name closed, and it would show up as closed. And so if I try to reserve on any of these times that are closed, so I'm going to skip ahead to tomorrow, so it will at least be after the current time. And if I try to reserve in these times, you're going to see here what's going to happen is when I get to the end of this, I'm going to get it's closed during that time. So not really allowing that to happen. Although obviously I can still reserve over here on court 1. So this is a pretty not typical, but I did want to show it to you so you could see that how it would block off times if you left one court open or whatever. And of course you could have different times in here. Let me go edit this now, and what I want to show you is if I do set them all at the same time, the software can then say, okay, well, they're all the same time, so I don't even need to show those hours at all. So if I go here now and edit this rule, and what I did was I just click the pencil next to the rule, and if I get to this 4th screen here and I say, oh, yeah, this really does apply to this court as well, and I submit this, then you'll see now really it's just going to get rid of those hours altogether because all the amenities open and close at the same time. So there's really even no need to show those hours at all. And I'll show you that. So you can see now, if I scroll up, it's opening at 8 a.m. and closing down here at 11. So really that's the open close rule. It's pretty straightforward. If you have questions about that or really any other rules or other features on Reserve My Court, please just give us a call. I'll be happy to help. You can reach me at 678-880-9042. You can also reach me by email. That's greg@reservemycourt.com. Thanks for your time again. If you have any questions, please just give us a call.